dream. From the ashes, Phoenix talks manifest in a dream. Got a growing channel, YouTube's where the wisdom resides. For all the Nest members, no truth can ever hide. She's an under-detective on the digital beat, questioning the unthinkable, bringing fire to the heat. With a mind so advanced, highly intelligent and bold, part of the hive mind with birdie stories to unfold. Common sense is a superpower, cutting through the noise, unlocking closed minds, amplifying all our voices.
Phoenix, Phoenix, what do you see? Unlocking knowledge for you and me. The nest is rising strong and true, sharing wisdom, me and you. Clap, clap, clap for the truth we seek. Every answer, week by week.
Where the system cuts our wisdom, built on lies and steel, they boxed us in cages. Now we break the locks, rewrite history's pages. Innocent until proven guilty, that's the oath we recite. Under this constitution we ignite the night. We rise like a phoenix in sync, we claim the street. Nest seekers united, our freedom can't be beat. Stand up when one falls, yeah we got your back. In a free land unbroken, we launch the righteous attack. Justice for the voiceless, break the chains of deceit. Innocent till proven guilty, our victory's complete. System cracked at the seams, built for just a few. We rip apart the scheme, bring the truth into view. Movement swells like thunder, souls fueled by conviction. Phoenix souls aligned, demanding our new vision. Marching on the courthouse, banners paint the sky. Echoes of freedom roar, watch the old guard comply. No more hidden verdicts, no more secrets sold. Every voice is a weapon, every story be told. Innocent till proven guilty, that's our final decree. Under this constitution we stand forever free. Phoenix in the dawn, truth ignites the sky. Together we stand tall, no more asking why.
Well, hello everyone. How are you today on this beautiful Monday? Gosh, I was so excited for this live. I'm telling you. I hope you all are doing well. I jump in here, go live, and there's like 40 messages. This is crazy amazing. But you know, back in the day, and I kind of giggle about this, back in the day when Bertie and I were on TikTok, if we were blowing it out the water, because we're like minds. We think alike, but yet we're so different. And it's cool how we've built a community that trust us, that are on this journey with us. And so, you know, I have an email address for you guys. And if you find any nest finds, send them my way. I've had a few people send me some really good stuff that I've used. And I think it's so exciting that we're able to take a 40,000 foot view and drill down and narrow it down. And this just isn't about this case. This is about so much more. And one of the things that we have been talking about for, gosh, months. I know some of you are OGs in the house, and we appreciate you guys like you have no idea. And one of the cool things is that we are in this together. We are thinking about this together, and we look at things. We're not afraid to look at all the options. And I think that says a lot about your minds, your openness, and how you perceive what's going on. Because there's something, this little tiny nudge inside of you that made you say, something's not right. There's got to be something more. And that's what we tune into to figure out, is there more behind this? What's driving this behavior in this case? What is the real deal? And that's what we're looking at today. I I decided let's educate a little bit here, but let's go a little bit deeper to the patterns of the bullshit in the news. And yeah, a lot of people say, "Phoenix, you got so spicy." No, I've always been spicy. I have just been reserved, okay? And yes, what's done in the dark always comes to light. I believe that 100%. And I think it's really interesting how we have seen such a social media shift, and people, have they just lost their way? Have they lost their integrity? Do they not care about their own constitutional rights? Do they not care about our justice system, how it pigeonholes and chokeholds people into pleading guilty in factually when they're innocent? I've seen it with my own two eyes, not in a capital case, but in regular everyday cases for the smallest of shit. And I'm just being honest. And my intentions are not to curse. I don't usually curse. Now, remind you, I am an ex sailor, an ex-wave, a woman in the military, in the Navy, and sometimes I slip. I've changed over the last 30 years, saying sheet instead of shit, or oh shiitake mushrooms, or something of that nature, especially when I had little ears around. But I'm an adult. I'm almost an empty nester. Um, well, in my studio, I'm an empty nester, and little ears aren't around to hear me. So all my videos are for 18 and above. And hopefully everybody here is an adult. If you're not, cover your ears. So I may say a bad word here or there, but I'm not a constant cusser. So let's get started here, because the patterns that I hope many of you are seeing are just that, they're patterns. So why do some stories, let me ask you a question. Why do some stories in the news feel like they just don't add up? We could break down the repeat patterns of hype, fear, distraction to keep the public confused, because I really believe that's what's happening here. The new documents that were released, and we're talking specifically on the Idaho 4, the new documents have been released, and that's just more confusion, more question, because you have two different entities interviewing potential suspects, witnesses, bystanders, tips, and you're seeing two drastically different interviews among the surviving witnesses. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And Idaho 4 is a perfect example. I'll give you some other media stories that have been hyped so high and high profile. But you know what? It's no surprise. It's not unique. The media has done this for years. We talk about, when did you get red pilled, right? When did you begin seeing the truth to all this? Well, let's just talk about this real quick. The Idaho 4 case. We all have seen, and I say all, who have been interested in this case. I don't know how long you've been watching unfold. It could have been since the beginning, maybe a year or two into it. Maybe you just started learning about this case. It was the unaliving of 4 college students found in their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho. And there's a lot of history involved in this house. There's a lot of history involved with these parents, these families of the deceased. And there is history with the prosecuting attorney and all the players, all the attorneys, like you would not believe. The level is so deep. So what are they trying to control here? What are they trying to hide from the general public? So much. So in early coverage, this was full speculation, from the food truck timeline, the roommate statements, the mystery cars. Yes, I said mystery cars, not just car. And, you've got the villain versus victim narrative. It was pushed before all the full evidence have come out. There's still a lot missing. And then the corrections and contradictions were later buried, right? But now we're seeing them resurface. We're seeing these news outlets, specifically one that I'm going to speak of, all factual. And remember, I have a disclaimer at the bottom of the screen for you. This is not meant to defame, slander, libel, or cause any financial injury to anyone. This is freedom of speech, the legal disclaimer. And if you don't like it, time for you to tune out because I'm playing hardball. Now, one case in particular, if you've not seen any of the creators that are pushing this narrative, I'm going to show you a video of my own that I made, and I want you to see the difference between pushing a narrative and pushing factual truth. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to show it for you because I realize many of you have sent me messages. I'm not on the TikTok drama scene. I'm not on that page. Well, let me just show you my TikTok from today. We all know by now that Brian Koberger, for the last few years, has been said to be a boxer. And with this new information from the Idaho State Police records that have come out, it is no shock that if a boxer would have knuckle problems or injuries to his knuckles, the documents say in one of the statements from a witness that he had these injuries before the homicides and after the homicides. And we all know that he is an avid hand washer. You all have witnessed from the last video that was probably allegedly illegally released, because right here, this is a medical bed. And whoever did this, I hope that they're fired and charged with something that would only be acceptable. But we know that he likes to wash his hands all the time. And if you are washing your hands and wearing gloves, it dries your knuckles out to the point where I've seen people that work in the fast food industry that wore these gloves and their hands crack and dry and bleed. So now, having a boxer that had these injuries before and after is no surprise. It is absolutely no surprise. And it boggles my mind how many creators can get on here and say without a shadow of a doubt, because these documents still no smoking gun. None. So which is it? You can't have it both ways. Don't you think he's a little bit innocent, like his attorney said, factually innocent? Maybe y'all didn't hear that part. I'll make a video just for you to hear that. Wow. Since when did washing your hands and or having sores on your hand or become creepy? Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. You know the drill. Comment and do your thing, TikTok. So there you have it. There's the difference between the videos that are being shared in regards to, oh my God, he had bleeding knuckles after the homicides. The documents clearly state that it is before and after. And I'm going to give you a little bit of information real quick because I know a lot of you. I have tried to load this document up on the website. It is so large. I'm in the process of breaking them down, but I'm going to show you a quick shortcut how to get the new documents, because a lot of people have been asking me, how do you get these documents? And I'm not a gatekeeper. I want everyone to read these documents. So let me just throw this up on here. This is where you get the documents. Okay. Take a screenshot. I'll give you the exact page. Let me bring it up real quick. Let me go back one right here. If you go to the Idaho State Police website, and if you go right underneath where it says link to public records right here, take a screenshot. And anything outside of these records that you want to request, you can go here and request, by the way. So here is the link to the documents. You go ahead and open it up, and it says Moscow murders. It'll give you a little bit of background, link to public records. This is for everyone. And what I'll do while I'm in the middle of this, let me just do this. I will go ahead and make sure that this link is on our fabulous, amazing website right here. And all I'm going to do is put the link here so then you can access this. I've added some pictures of the crime scene. As always, you can send a postcard. His mailing address is right here in case you want to just, and that's the call to action. Just send a quick postcard. You don't have to send him any money. You don't have to, put anything on his books. Just send him a quick postcard to let him know that people are seeing, we're reading these documents, and basically just know that, hey, there's people out here that support you, unless we're given a smoking gun that says you're 100% factually guilty. And we don't want the unaliver to go without being punished. And like we've always said, and I've always said, if he is guilty, then he needs to rot in prison for doing this to 4 individuals. But if he did not do this, then we need to definitely support an innocent person. Now, with that being said, I did load the autism court filings. I did see somebody made the statement that somebody had quoted something wrong and they directed them to this website. This website is a fantastic repository, all in one space, all in one, that will give you what you need in regards to everything filed with the autism court filings. That is everything to strike the death penalty. This is what we need to use to offset all the wrong news reporting that's going on. So that website is active. It's going. There's a couple of videos. If you want to help support it, there is a way to do that. So that is that. Again, this is where you go to get the documents for the Idaho State Police. I know a lot of people are waiting on these documents and they want to read them. So there's that. With that being said, I'm going to show you a quick little video, and I want you to think about this while we're watching this video. Why in the world would somebody do something like this? Well, it's reoccurring. And like I said, there are some cases that they've done this before, just not as bad. So why is it getting worse? Why is the media, specifically some individuals, why are they making it worse? I know I see Kenny in here. Kenny, as long as you're respectful, keep making that beautiful music of yours. And yeah, more power to you. So let me just pull this up real quick. And I want to go ahead and share this video because I thought it was very, very interesting. So I hope everyone is having a great day. I know Mondays can be kind of crazy. And let me see why this won't go up here. Let's just take a peek. Let's watch it.
And does it change anything? Oh, does it? Holy cow.
Hold on a minute. Can you all see that?
Is now a fugitive? And does it change anything? Oh, does it? Holy cow. Yeah, he is now a fugitive, which means every single law enforcement officer across the country can arrest that man, not just one jurisdiction. And it also means anybody who decides that they want to help Mr. Laundrie in his escapades of running is facing 10 years because you can't harbor a fugitive. So it means everything that now he is on the target federally, right across the country. And does it change anything?
All right.
Oh, does it? Holy cow. Yeah, he is now.
So anybody remember the case that she talked about? Right here is the key tip. Another Brian, by the way. Interesting. Well, I did a little digging. I wanted to find out who News Talk was, News Nation. They used to be Superstation WGN. They were supposed to come onto the scene in 2008. They relaunched in 2021. It was supposed to be an unbiased reporting, but the ratings basically tanked, right? So they had to come up with something. The channel claimed that they were going to revamp themselves, and they did that in 2021. But I haven't seen a lot of unbiased reporting. Now, that case that I just showed you was obviously the Gabby Petito case. And, News Nation was very upfront, in your face reporting on the Gabby Petito case. It was saturated coverage because it had the perfect narrative. Again, young, attractive women. Okay. And then you've got a dramatic chase for Brian Laundrie. Are we seeing this together? Are you seeing the patterns of bullshit? Okay. You've got beautiful women that are missing or unalived, just murdered horrifically. And then the dramatic chase for the suspect. Okay. Think about this. They ignored thousands of other missing person cases to put this on News Nation. Why? Why did they even do that? What would make them do that? Here's another one. I'll go right at it. I don't know if you can hear this.
He put some boxes into the truck ahead of time. Roberta had a backpack. They got into the red truck and they left. The only thing Steve Bertolino, the Laundrie's attorney, will tell us is that they are somewhere in Florida right now grieving the loss of their son.
I think a lot of people were really wondering after the news, broke that he was indeed dead, that they'd identified those remains as his, if people would just sort of back away and leave the little yellow bungalow alone. But he saw the need to put up the no trespassing signs. Why is that?
Well, there have still been people in the area visiting the house, shouting. Some new signs have gone up. It hasn't really quieted down much on the street, at least over the weekend and on Friday. Today we were in Northport. It was definitely quieter. I think people realized that the Laundries were now gone, so there was really no point for them to be outside the house. But overall, I would say the developments at the end of last week really did not tone things down outside the Laundrie house.
So are you surprised at the announcement that there will be no funeral for Brian Laundrie, or is that even true? Maybe there will be one. It just won't involve any publicity.
Yeah, it's possible that Bertolino is just telling us no funeral and they might have a small memorial service. He said that Brian will be cremated. We know that, all that's left of his remains right now, it's skeletal remains. No, it didn't really surprise me, Ashley, just because, they have such a hard time even leaving their house without people getting upset that I think it would be difficult for them, obviously, to have a funeral. And perhaps that's sort of what they're doing right now somewhere, gathering as a family and, having that moment right now.
Yeah. So here's something that I found astounding. I know that people are talking about a TikToker who found a water bottle in the reserve and has turned it over to the police, and that the TikToker has matched it with the water bottle found in Gabby's truck in the van. But first of all, seriously, is this actually possible? And here's the video. She sees it. She takes a picture of it. It's a pretty unique little pattern on it. So that would be something that would be unique and memorable. But my question is, the medical examiner came out there. Take a look on the left over there. Can you see that water bottle? It's partly off your screen there. You see that water bottle just off to the left? We circled it in red, same pattern. The medical examiner went out there after the remains had been removed, I assume, to look for more things, whether it was remains or pieces of evidence, because medical examiners take into account evidence as well as just the body. How on earth could anyone have missed this if the TikToker found it?
Well, nothing really surprises me, obviously, with this case anymore, Ashley. And it wasn't just the medical examiner. I mean, we were out there. They were doing a grid search of that area. They had put crime scene tape up all around.
So you kind of get the idea of what I'm showing you. How did they go from this, from the Gabby Petito case to the Idaho 4 case? I mean, it's been going on a long time, okay? The similarities, they're both, I mean, both they were looking for Brian's. They were both out looking and scouring the trash, scouring everything they could find of both Brian's. And the media sold drama. They did not sell context. They sold the drama. I mean, I can give you a million, well, maybe not a million, that's exaggerating a little bit, but I mean, I can show you a lot of stuff that Ashley's put out that just shocks me in the, I mean, like this video. Let's watch it. Ah, shoot. She played a video.
I saw last night. I saw a pretty satisfying video, and the job.
A satisfying video. What is so satisfying about this video that makes her happy? Is my question. Listen to her words.
Of a journalist is to figure out if it's real before you start showing that video on television. So I didn't put it on my show, but it's Brian Koberger seemingly in a prison cell doing a whole lot of nothing. Again, real satisfying to see a monster caged up like an animal. So I called Larry Levine, who is an expert on what it's like on the inside, because he spent about 11 years as a federal prisoner, and he's a prison consultant now. And I asked him about all of the potential pieces of evidence, signs, images inside that cell that might actually inform whether this is an authentic video or not. And it was really interesting what he told me. It's more than likely this isn't the Idaho Maximum Security Institution, that this is likely, more than likely, one of the jails where he was held, like either Pennsylvania, Ada County up near Boise, or the Latah County Jail in Moscow. But he had some really, really interesting observations.
Like, that might be a medical bed, Ashley, and whoever took this video violated not only possible HIPAA, but Idaho state law. Yeah, this is just unprofessional. She didn't show it on her program, but she had somebody take a look and see if it was real video. You know, how about we see some real evidence? Because I haven't seen any evidence, even with all the news that has dropped in the ISP documents. I mean, I asked 3 different people, hey, can you scour these documents and find anything? Find the smoking gun that says Brian is guilty. I want to see some more satisfying documents. I want to see the smoking gun that makes everyone say, oh shit, he's guilty, because I haven't seen it yet. Does anyone actually have anything out there in the universe that could show me? Hey, I appreciate it, Hoppy Master. I appreciate it. Keep up the pressure. I mean, really, I want to see the actual documents. Do they have some information that we don't? Are they in on this to share this horrible, I mean, creepy individual that's not that horrible and not that creepy, because they're altering documents and altering pictures to make it look like AI photos versus real life photos? This is why every time I share a video, I actually use this picture. That is the Ada County Sheriff's Office real picture. Real picture, guys. Not the fake AI ones they're throwing out there to make Koberger more creepy. I mean, you know, I have a son with autism. Autism can be creepy if you don't understand it. It can be really creepy. But as a mother with a special needs daughter and a autistic son, I get it. The media has just tried to push that whole freaking narrative of the creepy guy, right? Now, I'm going to talk about the fear and the panic cycles that the news, this even social media news, is pushing the patterns of fear and panic cycles. And hopefully, a lot of people will begin to apply what I'm sharing with you in local cases, in your local news, not just on national news, guys. Ladies and gents, this is some serious stuff. Remember back in the early 2020s when this whole fear and panic cycle started in COVID? They shift the headlines: mask useless, mask critical. The shifting of the headlines. Then the daily death tickers on TV, those were all designed for ratings, guys. They were exaggerated. Outlets downplayed it, some exaggerated. And that's just breaking it down. It wasn't too long ago. I mean, if you think about it, it was 5 years ago already. Wild. Now, remember the story? Oh my gosh, this one was big. This one was big. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Do you remember in 2020, if they couldn't get us with COVID? Remember these? I'm going to laugh. This was a good one. I mean, we had a really good laugh during this one. It was the most ludicrous stuff that I had ever seen. And, you know, around my dinner table, we talk about some really weird stuff. But this was classic. I'm going to show you guys. Remember this one? Remember this? The murder hornets? Yeah, in 2020, they had the fear cycle over insects that's barely even spread in the USA. They were big. They were big. Headlines sounded like an apocalypse. Remember, quietly dropped once it was a ratings hit. They kind of just dropped it and went away from it. Remember that one? Okay. That was classic. All right. So remember, I know all the way from Africa to the United States, right? And then what about this one? This one has been exploding, just outrageous. Let me grab the slide for you. I was just like, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is huge because there's a whole background about it. And I'll just share it with this real quick. Hold on, where's my screen? I got way too many windows open. All right, let me share this one. Here it is. And why is that not popping in there? I'll get the hang of this one day. Remember, I'm pretty new to all this still, guys. So, and it's been such a blessing to be over here on the TikTok with you guys. Let me just see if I can pull this in. Where'd it go? And here it is. Nope. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. This was the big one. Do you remember this one? The crime wave. This has been in recent years. Constant stories of crime exploding everywhere. Well, the FBI stats, the statistics, they show some crimes are falling flat. Okay. There's a big uptick on crime wave. And then that whole fear is used to keep people watching. It's factual. That's just what they do. They sell us on the bullshit. They want to keep the patterns of fear, hype, distraction, just to make good headlines to keep you watching. That is just like some creators give you a hook that's just like, well, you got to watch it because you watch the hook. And then you're thinking, that had nothing to do with what they were talking about, right? And let me tell you, okay, here's some more. You ready? I know this was a big one. This was a huge one. And I don't know why it won't let me share this. Hold on, let me share my screen. That's why. This is wild. And I'll just give you a general search. Let me take this one down. Here we go. This was a good one. This was a really good one. There we go. Everybody remember, this is the model of distraction and manufactured outrage. Okay. Hunter Biden laptop versus all the other stories they could have shared. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Hoppy Master. I appreciate you just because. Oh, that's so sweet. So remember the whole media split down partisan lines, either burying or sensationalizing the Biden laptop? True details got lost in the noise of the spin guys. Remember this one? That one was big. And then, one other one that I'll have to mention real quick, and then the big one. This was, let me just grab a picture of it because I didn't get one. Does anybody remember this story? This one was pretty big, right? It was this. The big balloon over the US. Does anybody remember that one? That was wild, right? Because everybody was like, what is this? It's a Chinese spy balloon. It was non-stop headlines about a balloon in the sky. It overshadowed a huge story that they didn't want us to focus on, and that was cyber security, folks. Did you know that one? Because every time they're like, look over here, they don't want you to see what's in the other side. Okay. This was overshadowing a huge story like cybersecurity. And that was just another fear hook. The story disappeared in a matter of days. And yes, Les, absolutely. And if you haven't noticed, I gave Les a wrench. She is one of my new mods. Thank you, Les, for your service. Everybody thank Les. She is helping eliminate those Lucy's of the YouTubes. That's what I'm calling it. I have another mod that I'm going to give her a wrench, and I will be welcoming her as soon as I get her at YouTube sign. I can't find you, Christina. So that's coming too. So that was the fear hook, right? And then remember all the celebrity scandals like Will Smith, Johnny Depp trial. Yeah, you got it. Those. They saturated, the Johnny Depp trial saturated the news. People were stuck on it, they were divided and they were stuck. And that saturation of the news and overshadowed serious subject like wars, inflation, policy debates, national security, right? So these distraction stories, they're all engineered because they guarantee what? What do you think they guarantee in the chat? Everyone in this, what do you think they guarantee? Think about it. Distraction stories are engineered because they guarantee what? They guarantee clicks. They know people are on devices more than they are on their TVs. Now with streaming and all these other things, they can still get clicks on the television, but it's guaranteed clicks, which equals views, which equals money, absolutely rating. Absolutely. See, these all bring back patterns of fear, overhype, distractions, flip-flops. When you see breaking news, ask yourself what's missing, who benefits, and why now. Every time you see a pattern in the news media, whether it be on the news or social media news, ask yourself, wait a minute, is this bullshit or is this real shit? Ask yourself. Every time you see breaking news, ask yourself, what am I missing? Who benefits? And why now? Ask yourself those three things. And we can do this right now. Ask yourself in the Idaho 4. I'll give you the first one. What's missing? What's missing in the Idaho 4? From your information that you have right now, based on only the information that you know, what's missing? And then ask yourself in the Idaho 4, who benefits? Exactly. The truth is missing. Who benefits? Everyone not telling the truth. Every single person benefits. Yes, evidence is missing too. That is a good one, Karen. What else? Who benefits? The university, the state. Yes. Who benefits? The individuals, the parents. Yes, the victims. And why now? Why now? Why then? Why now? What are they trying to do? What's their end game to the Idaho 4? They have a suspect, they have someone who's pled guilty, and he's factually innocent. Factually. What is up with that? Factually innocent. I mean, you heard his attorney. So when the nation news cycle, I should say, thrives on hype, fear, and distraction, often spinning stories in ways that leave the truth buried to sensationalism, what will you do? Do you help others, guide them to understand that, hey, wait a minute here. What is the truth in all this? What are we supposed to be seeing that we're not seeing? Because we want to know. I want to know. I mean, if it's something that I should know, let me know, share it with me. And that's why we try to gather together and say, hey, what's the real truth? What's the real truth? So now let's do this. I've got a new segment coming and I'm so excited about this. I want to make a hard stop in the next maybe 15 minutes, and this won't take long. You are going to love this. I hope you enjoy this.
Feel the heat, truth ignites us from inside. Hear the roar, we'll never run, we'll never hide. Phoenix drop fireballs of truth, flames that scorch the darkest roof. Watch deception burn away, feel the dawn of honest day. Rise again with wings of flame, we will never be the same. Phoenix fireballs of truth, we rise, we rise.
Okay, y'all, I have got something within the Phoenix fireballs of truth for you today. What if the key to the Idaho 4 case is inside 1122 King Road, but it's outside, idling in the dark? I want to introduce you to the mysterious black SUV sedan reportedly mentioned in police reports and witness statements. Let me clarify. This is not the victim's Explorer or Range Rover, but a separate vehicle repeatedly spotted. Now, I'm going to summarize the witnesses' reports and descriptions for you. Per the ISP reports and the MPD reports, at 2:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, an unfamiliar dark vehicle is near 1122 King Road. At 3:00 a.m., per the reports and descriptions, a dark SUV-like vehicle driving King Road. At 3:30, a witness on Walenta Drive, dark sedan near King Road exit, Highway 95. And from 3:40 3:45 to 4 o'clock, there was a vehicle moving north on Highway 9 toward Walenta Drive. So I can point out the SUV versus the sedan confusion. A lot of SUVs are now crossovers, and it was likely due to poor lighting or dark, like quick glances of a dark vehicle. The patterns of route show how the timeline aligns with the murders between 2:30 and 4 a.m. The sightings and possible escape routes, like I just said, were King Road to 95 South Walenta Drive or west toward Pullman. One witness stressed consistently placed a dark vehicle leaving the scene area. What does this mean? Was it the killer's vehicle? That's a theory. Could it have been a lookout or an accomplice? Or just a seemingly unrelated visitor who hasn't come forward yet? I know law enforcement pursued the white Elantra to no ends. Well, mentions of this dark SUV slash possible crossover sedan are less emphasized. So let me ask you, why were there multiple witnesses noticing this vehicle? What are your thoughts? And did law enforcement follow up fully? Wow. Could this detail reshape how we view the timeline? Remember, 2:30 to 4 a.m. This vehicle was evenly seen idling around King Road. Now, do you think even this black SUV was maybe the killer's ride or just a coincidence, folks? I mean, think about it. It was never researched as far as we know and what we've been told. Don't focus on the black car, folks. Focus on the white car. Don't look over here. Look over here. That's another distraction for later. I hope you've enjoyed this segment. I hope it's got your brain to comprehend there's so much more than what meets the eye. Keep your eyes and your ears readily open and listening, because I'm sure we will never know about the mysterious black SUV. I hope you enjoyed that segment of Phoenix Fireballs. I never believe in any coincidence. Ever. So leave your thoughts, leave your comments, leave your questions. I'm going to leave you asking me for more, because I'm always going to share what Phoenix sees all day long.
Feel the heat. Truth ignites us. Phoenix, Phoenix, what do you see? Unlocking knowledge for you and me.
The nest is rising strong and true. Sharing wisdom, me and you. Clap, clap, clap for the truth we seek. Every answer, week by week.
Yo, microphone check 1 2. This ain't no ordinary stream. From the ashes, Phoenix talks manifest in the dream. Got a growing channel, YouTube's where the wisdom resides. For all the nest members, no truth can ever hide. She's an under detective on the digital beat, questioning the unthinkable, bringing fire to the heat. With a mind so advanced, highly intelligent and bold, part of the hive mind with birdie stories to unfold. Common sense is a superpower, cutting through the noise, unlocking closed minds, amplifying all our voices.
Phoenix, Phoenix, what do you see?